Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Malicious Compliance. Story 1. Karen wants her breakfast. I work at a hotel, I'm on the graveyard shift and we have a continental breakfast from 6 to 9, and my shift ends at 7, so I'm in charge of setting up the breakfast. It's not a big deal, it's a smallish hotel and a small breakfast, but we do have waffles and a couple of waffle makers. Basically guests come in, they get their batter out of a dispenser and make their waffles so they're fresh and hot. We have 2 seasons where I live, winter and construction season, and we get work crews that stay at the hotel on the boss's dime and then go out for whatever job they're working on, and we very frequently get this one crew of guys. They're great guys, they're polite and they don't leave the breakfast room a mess, but their shifts start super early in the morning. We also get hunters who are in and out before 6, so I usually have everything set up by 5:30 for them. I say usually because I'm only human, sometimes I'm running late, it happens, but I'm never more than 5 minutes after 6. The workers and the hunters are super chill about it, they get it and don't complain about waiting a couple of extra minutes. I also feel the need to add that the foreman is amongst them, so he's eating when they are. So, one day I'm running a little late, I got caught up with what I was doing and kinda lost track of time, so I was rushing to get everything set up while the guys are patiently waiting in the lobby. In enters Karen, who sees the time, sees the breakfast isn't ready, and decides to yell at me for it, saying that the sign says breakfast is from 6 to 9 and should be started exactly at 6. I tried to keep working while talking to her so I could get the breakfast ready, but she decided that was rude, so I had to stop what I was doing and stand there with her yelling at me until she ran out of breath and I could finish setting up. Karen complains to the manager, I get a verbal warning that I have to have breakfast open by 6 as I was about 15 minutes behind because Karen was yelling at me when I would have been less than 4 if she'd let me fucking finish. Well, Karen was a stayover, and she was in the next day before 6. The manager refunded part of her stay under guest satisfaction, and I think she was hoping to find me doing something wrong so she could get another refund, but I was on my game and had everything set up by 5:30 like usual. She came in before the workers and saw me sitting at the front desk and sneered about me being lazy when I should be setting up breakfast. I told her the breakfast was already ready to go as the construction workers are entering, but I stand and walk over to block the doorway to the breakfast room and told them that I couldn't let them in because the manager said I had to start the breakfast at exactly 6 o'clock, so I couldn't let them back until then, and as I'm saying this I'm looking directly at Karen. Slowly heads turn and Karen goes red, and mutters something about coming back later, and leaves, so I let the guys back. They said it was funny, and like I said, the workers have had to wait a little after 6 before with no problem, and the foreman was there. To be clear, if I thought this stunt was going to cost them their breakfast I never would have done it, but I knew that wasn't gonna be a problem. I didn't see Karen again, so either she didn't come back, or she returned after I left, but either way I didn't hear another word from the manager about it. You want your breakfast at 6? You're gonna get your breakfast at 6. Story 2. Great Arby's Run of 2005. This was years ago, not sure exactly what year. Location, Twin Cities MN. Arby's had a promotion where if you got a $10 gift card you got a free basic combo meal, large roast beef or beef and cheddar, medium soft drink, medium fry. Back at this time that would likely have been a $3.99 meal. Immediately, I saw an opportunity. I asked when the gift card expired, answer, never, and asked if there were any restrictions on what could be purchased with the gift card, answer, none. So I got a gift card and a combo meal. I then hightailed it back to the house I was living in with a pile of other college guys. Filled my car up, filled up another car. Walked in, said I'd like to purchase a $10 gift card, I'll do the large roast beef, Coke, curly fries, horsey sauce, and Arby's sauce. Paid for the gift card with the gift card. Hand the new gift card to the guy behind me. He did the same thing. At this point one of the other guys walked over to the other register and pulled out cash for a gift card and started the process going. Eventually the last person in our line handed me back a gift card. We ate in the restaurant and then I said, well, I'm getting ready for a midnight snack and got back in line, and everyone followed. We all got a second meal and got back in the car and left, and to be fair, back then I could have eaten 4 roast beefs, a single without upsizing the fries was kinda paltry. The cashier didn't care, he was just doing as instructed. Hell, for all I know he was probably encouraged to push the gift card deal. Lots of times the counter staff do get instructed to do that kind of thing. We did it a second time, but the third time the manager said that terms on the card have some prohibitions, which includes buying gift cards. That's okay, we got probably 30 meals free and just had to use the gift card for actual food. Story 3. But you said I could only walk straight. Very proud of my son who just turned 7 today and his malicious compliance. We were walking in a busy mall and he was walking in this little zigzag back and forth a few feet at a time. He was close to getting in the way of people and I didn't want him to bump anyone or be bumped. I told him a few times to stop, then said if he wanted to go back to the attraction we were at and planning on returning to, he better start walking in a straight line. Well, we get to the turn for lunch and we notice he isn't coming. I tell him we are going this way, but instead of following he's walking into a wall over and over again for show. I ask him what he's doing and he reminds me that I told him he could only walk in a straight line. TLDR, 7YO followed directions to walk in a straight line, vs weaving around, in a busy mall. Ended up walking into a wall intentionally and refusing to turn corner. Couldn't be more proud. Story 4. I can't take time off, not an issue. It's been a long time since this happened so I don't remember the details. Standard on my phone, so apologies for any mistakes. I was working at a consulting company during COVID and needed to travel outside the country to visit my family. Anyone who wants to argue traveling during COVID with me, you're welcome to stop reading. Since I was going to visit family, I asked for some time off, which was approved, and I booked my flights. 3 days before my time off started, my manager asked me to cancel my request and work as they need the help. I naturally said no because I had tickets booked to travel. Now, an important detail is that most of the clients of this company had clear instructions that their data must never leave the US or be worked on from outside the US. All the clients my team worked on were like this. My manager asked me to work remotely for a few of the days to help. I was naturally confused, so reminded her that I was traveling internationally, so that wouldn't work. She said to follow her instructions and not overthink this. My manager was a good manager and cared for her employees, but was a little ditzy. I knew it, sir was asking, she really needed it, but I also knew I'd get nothing done. But there was no way I could say no. Cute MC, I took my laptop, logged on every day, replied to emails that I could, which took maybe 15 minutes, and replied to messages on Slack through the day on my phone if I could. 3 days in, my manager asked me why I had not gotten any work done, and I sent her a screenshot of the conversation and one of the rules preventing us from doing any real work outside the country. She replied saying that my time off would be approved and to resubmit. Got told off a bit once I got back, but she knew it wasn't really my fault and didn't say much. TLDR, was told to work from outside the country even though I'm not allowed to access data from outside the country. Worked by replying to emails for 15 minutes each day. Story 5. Dishwashing malicious compliance. This is my first malicious compliance. So bear with me as I'm typing on mobile. I'll try to make it short and sweet. This all started in the spring of 2022. I was a dishwasher, now a prep cook, and I was covering a prep cook's position in the AM and washing dishes in the PM and doing all my necessary duties for the day, such as taking or the trash, getting the mail, etc. I'd leave by 4 PM, but I noticed very quickly that after I did my duties, and hit the dishes, I'd be leaving by 4:30 PM. I gently complained that the workload was causing me to leave later than my desired clock-out time to my manager. I was polite and tried to offer to my boss the idea of one of the cooks or somebody to go into the dish area for a few minutes to run some dishes through. Boss declined the idea, saying, "We don't have enough staff to do that." Just get the dishes done. Cue malicious compliance time. I did just as I was asked, and only what was asked. I rarely did my other duties and focused mainly on dishes. Need me to go to the mail room? Sorry, I'm doing dishes. Need me to collect trays? Sorry, the dish area called and it needs me back. My Friday deep clean list was neglected too. I'd get a few things done here and there when I had the time, but mostly stick to dishes. This went on for 2 months. At the 1-month mark, my boss called me into my office to ask what was happening and why I was getting out later than normal. I explained my situation. I forgot what I actually said. And about a week later I got told out coworkers will help me out with my dishes as well as my daily duties. The amount of overtime, and not to mention a mild case of burnout, was crazy. I got promoted over the summer and now work as a prep cook only. We have a new dish person and if they're struggling, I don't hesitate to help them when I deem it appropriate. Story 6. We are told to increase our communication with management. We use WhatsApp on our work phones for communication between departments. We've been told to implement visual communication and to share pictures of every activity/project we work on. They started saying we weren't sharing enough, and the management never knew what we were doing at any time of the day. We all thought we were communicating pretty well. Direct supervisor don't think it was an issue but their boss wanted it so it happened. Basically our chats became cluttered with way too many pictures and updates. Like instead of stating test machine started for 15-minute cycle we were getting updates that it was still running every few minutes. This gets really redundant and makes you get information fatigue and you start to miss actual important stuff. So people got passive-aggressive and started posting updates like walking to the front door or I am leaving work at 5 p.m. today every morning, when we always leave at 5 p.m. every day. It got really silly when we started getting pictures of people's cars in their driveways when they got home after work with I have arrived at my living quarters in preparation returning to work upon the next shift. One guy actually got fussed at because he kept making what are essentially shit posts in the group chat. One of our members had to go pick up a product several hours away and the jokester guy went on MS Paint and took the driving employee's face and put it in a VW Bug. He posted the pic stating so and so in on their way to pick up unit, I visually confirmed on New York way to work today. I even got brave enough to send them a picture of my dog in front of our laundry machine once to announce I finished a load of laundry with my dog's help. They lowered their expectations after a few months of this on what we had to report. Basically we are back to succinct and important posts only rather than play-by-play details of our every move. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.